Hi everybody, and welcome back to another tutorial. In this one we're going to cover how to set up purchase orders inside QuickBooks. Now before we get into actually figuring out how to work all the mechanics within the software, I want to discuss a little bit about what a purchase order actually is. A purchase order is an agreement between your company and your supplier on what you're going to buy, the quantity that you're going to purchase, and the purchase price. So typically a document, almost like an invoice, would be forwarded to your supplier, or you would quote them a purchase order number. And it's advisable when you're setting up arrangements with your suppliers that you tell your suppliers that any purchases made to them from your company must have a purchase order number. The reason for this is it allows your company to control who's purchasing and what. So that this way, especially in larger companies, there's no unauthorized purchases being made. Otherwise, there's been no way of tracking, who's buying what, and your expenses get out of control and your cash flow takes a beating as well. So again, a purchase order is just an official agreement between your company and a supplier on what you're going to buy, how much, any details around the product, and of course the price. Again, this also eliminates any problems after the product shows up. For example, you order something, you thought it was going to cost so much, then you get a bill and it's more than what you thought that you agreed you were going to pay. Maybe you thought shipping and handling were included, and now you're being charged. And a discussion starts between you and your supplier, and of course that could strain relationships. So that's what a purchase order is. It's a controlling document. So let's jump right in on how we're going to set this up, and we will be covering this in class as well, and I'll answer any questions regarding this. Now, before we can set up a purchase order, we need to make sure that our QuickBooks software is set up to generate those. So you want to go up here to your settings, the little gear icon. And we want to go to right here under the column that says your company. We want to select account and settings. And over on the left, here's your menu item again. We want to select expenses. And now I've got mine set up. But you can see here you've got bills and expenses, purchase orders, and messages. So here's what you want to focus on right here, purchase orders. Now mine is on. Yours may be on off. If it is off, please turn it back on, right? Because we want to use purchase orders now. We're going to leave these custom fields blank. We're not going to create our own purchase order numbers. We're going to allow QuickBooks to generate those numbers automatically. So once you've turned on your purchase orders option, simply select save and you're ready to go. So let's try one out. We'll close this screen. Now the first thing we want to do is we want to generate, this is going to be two steps. We're going to generate a purchase order to a supplier, and then we're going to actually use that purchase order to create a bill. All right, so in order to do that, we'll go over here to the left-hand menu under expenses, and we'll just pick suppliers because that's what we're going to do here. Now I'm going to use this company here just as an example, this Apple Fitness. And over on the right-hand side over here under the action column, I don't want to create a bill. Now that I've activated my purchase order options, when I hit that drop-down menu, which you guys can't see it here, let me move my screen up a little bit. Okay. Hit this drop-down menu, and now I have the option here to create a purchase order, and that's what I want to do. I'm going to select create a purchase order. Now this screen looks very much like a bill screen, but you should see in the upper left-hand corner here, it says purchase order, and you can see here, very important, it says open. That's where it'll default to. It has my supplier's name and address and all that information. Now I've already set something up here, and you can see I've selected to give this company a purchase order for garden shovels. I want to buy 10 of them at $16 each. So my total purchase order that I'm authorizing is $160 plus tax. So my total purchase order is $180.80. When I provide this purchase order to my supplier, I'm expecting the delivery of 10 garden shovels at this price plus tax, and also to receive a bill of $180.80. If there was freight that I had to pay extra, that's something that you would have a discussion with your supplier prior to ordering a prior to providing them with a purchase order. But you have to be very firm and that your suppliers understand that you will only pay things upon agreed on purchase orders that you provided to them, and also the amounts and the dollar amounts. All right, so that's a very simple one. We've set it up. So we're just going to go down to the bottom right-hand corner if we're happy with everything, and we'll select Save and Close. All right, and you can see here, purchase order 1003 saved. Now you can print that off and email it to your supplier, or you can simply, email them the purchase order number. So your purchase order number 1003, depending on whatever processes that you have set up within your organization and with your supplier. Now that that's been set up, we can go into our reports menu and we can take a look at any open purchase orders that we may have. So let's go over here to reports, and we will scroll down. All right, and we can see under expenses and suppliers, we go down here and we can see open purchase order details. So this will show us any open purchase orders. An open purchase order is simply a purchase order that you have generated to purchase something, but you haven't yet received the goods or you haven't closed the purchase order, and we'll talk about how to do that. So let's open this up and see what we have. Well, we can see that we've got one purchase order outstanding here, and we can see here open purchase orders detail, and it's to Apple Fitness for garden shovels. That's what I ordered. I ordered 10. Okay, I haven't received any yet because I'm waiting for them to come in, and that's my total amount with tax. Now, if the goods came in and you got your bill and everything was satisfactory, you received 10, the agreed upon price was there, the products that showed up were in good shape. Now, what we want to do is we want to open this purchase order and we want to create a bill from it. When we create a bill from an existing purchase order, it will automatically close this purchase order. In other words, it's been complete. So let's take a look how to do that. We'll open it up. This is purchase order 1003, and we can see that it still remains open, but now we've received these goods and we've received them in good order, and the price, everything is fine. So what I want to do here is if we go over to the price, if you see just to the left of it, it says copy to bill. When we select this, what it's going to do is going to simultaneously close the purchase order and create an identical bill for the supplier for this order. So let's do that. Let's select copy to bill. All right, and now you can see it's changed from purchase order to bill. Okay, and we can scroll down. We're not adding anything else or any other categories. We're just going to leave it as it is. Okay, there's nothing else in there. We're happy with everything, and I will save and close. All right, the bill has been saved. All right, and you can see here now under my purchase orders detail, it's blank. It's gone. Okay, so I have no open purchase orders. Everything's been received, and an accounts payable bill has been completed, and we have to pay that. So let's just go back to reports and take a look down one last quick time. This time we're going to take a look at transaction by supplier list. All right, and if we look at Apple Fitness, I've done a couple here, but you can see this last purchase order, right, 1003, and then I converted it to a bill. All right, if I open this purchase order now, you can see here on the upper left-hand corner, this purchase order has now been closed, which happened automatically when we converted this to a bill. So once again, a purchase order is an official document, an agreement that you're making with your supplier to order something at a very specific quantity and price, and you provide your supplier with that purchase order number. That helps you control who in the company is ordering things. And then when the goods come in, you just convert this purchase order into a bill and you pay it. Again, we will cover this all in class, but I hope this gives you at least a brief understanding on what a purchase order is and how to process it in QuickBooks. Until next time, we'll see you soon.